Wonderful. So
So
Jim,
welcome everybody. In these challenging times, these interesting times, we really appreciate being able to take some time off your Saturday morning and meet with us here. I'm just going to do a few housekeeping rules. When you're using Zoom, to stop interference with background noise, please mute yourself. What we can do is we have everybody on one screen, so if you want to say something, you can either put a question in the chat or raise your hand. And there is a bit of a delay here, so does everybody know how to use the chat box? Yeah, okay.
Well, I know how to use it, but again, I don't have it.
Okay, yeah, it's a little bit different because you're on the Zoom. You're on the Zoom for mobile devices, for
Yeah.
iPads. If you look around your screen, you should be able to find it. And I can go upstairs and actually get my iPad and help you out there. But if you do want to,
I think I did. Yeah, I did find it. There I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you want to connect with everybody, if you click on chat, it brings up the Zoom group chat, and it's got a drop-down feature that shows either everyone, or if you click it, you'll see all the attendees here. So if you want to send a private message to somebody, that's the way to do it. Take the arrow off of everyone and put down, whoever it is that you want to chat privately with. So, yeah, if everybody is muted, then I'll give the floor back to Governor Tracy Vavrick.
well, good morning. Thank you so much, Jim. It is really wonderful to see everyone here today. I appreciate the time you've taken out of your worlds to commit to Rotary. Today is an important meeting, and that we've all been able to come together is really, really critical actually for our district and for Rotary. We have on the call today members that have been part of the area governor team for a period of time. We also have some of our new members that have joined us today, and we also as well have our governor team, myself, Jim, Donna, and we've also asked our district foundation chair, Tim Shields, to join us as well. I have put up an agenda in front of you there. So we built an agenda recognizing that we have a lot to cover. The goal is to be within an hour, but as we were having discussions yesterday, I'm going to be honest, we might be over an hour. If you do need to leave, Jim is recording the call today, and we will have that available if there's things that you do, in case you do need to leave and there's things that you miss, we'll have that available. But I want to start with a beautiful quote from Maria Shriver. And this came out yesterday on, all those great things that are coming out through social media, and it really stuck with me. When we talk about what we're doing and what we're facing right now, I see, as Maria says, we must also all see ourselves in a way as first responders. We are responding to what life has thrown our way, and the way we respond can change a life, save a life, or reassure a life. And so as we move through today and you go forward in your leadership capacity, just remind yourself on the inspiration you're providing to yourself, but also the inspiration that you're providing to others. So you'll see by the agenda, I'm going to start with some opening remarks and some updates for you. We are then going to go into roundtable, where this is your opportunity to introduce yourself, to also look at talking about clubs you're supporting, and to provide us with a quick snapshot of what you're seeing. I do encourage you to use the chat box today, as Jim has also alluded to as well. That is important because it's a place we can share. I put a comment in there just a few minutes ago. Let's share some ideas in there. Again, this is being recorded, so you'll have access to it. And then we'll move into, Tim Shields is going to provide us with some information and updates from Rotary International and foundation dollars. And then as well, Donna Barrett is going to provide us with an overview on the changes that we've made in regards to learning and development. As well, Jim is going to come back and provide us with more information around online opportunities. And then we are going to finalize today with next steps of what we need to do to support our clubs. So let's get started. And again, I really do thank you for joining us today and recognize that we have representation right now from all across our district, from Yukon, Fort McMurray, Grand Prairie, Camrose, Lloydminster, Edmonton. And I do want to recognize that we have a doctor here with us. Stefan, thank you. I want to say thank you to you for what you are doing with your team and in supporting everyone. And you've taken the time to also prioritize with Rotary today. So we know we're in unprecedented times. We know that COVID-19 is changing our lives, each of us, hour by hour. And as we move into this unknown, the district has formed a risk management committee to help to guide us through these unknown territories. We were very disappointed to have to cancel last week's learning assembly, but we also know there's huge value of us coming together as we are today, and we'll find ways to continue to come together face to face. District Governor-elect Jim, District Governor nominee Donna, and I are very committed to stay connected and have designed a schedule of upcoming sessions and online learning activities that we can all use to share and support within ourselves, but also to continue to train. And Donna's going to provide you with further details on that further into the agenda. So, youth exchange. Safety is our first priority. We have been working constantly to ensure that our outbound students get home and they get home safely if they can be. We do have a couple we can't get home yet. We also recognize our inbound students as well have been asked to be, some have been asked to be returned to their home countries, and we've been working diligently with their countries to ensure that they get home safely, or that the ones that are staying within our district are here and safe and well looked after. This has been turbulent times, and we appreciate how all of the clubs have worked with us to support our youth exchange program. We do not know what the future holds for the 2020-21 program. RI has not provided us with any direction as yet, but we do have our risk management task force that's been assigned to build a plan that helps to identify trigger points and when to activate. And we will continue to keep you updated on this. Right now, as I say, we cannot provide any direction on 2020-2021. We also have a task force that's working with our Ripen and our Riley events, because our youth events are very, very critical and important for helping to develop our young people. But we know we can't bring together these wonderful students at this time, so we're also exploring how we use our virtual tools, and our platforms as we are today to bring our young people together. So we have a task force meeting that's set for later this afternoon, and we'll be addressing what our Rotaract members and our other young leaders have identified as ways we can do this to bring our people together and still use online platforms and still continue to help to grow them as individuals. So in regards to the future of our youth programs, as everything else is in the world right now, things are up in the air, but we'll continue to provide you with details as we have them. As we know, as of yesterday in Alberta, we had only essential places of business are allowed to be open. And so the district office is closed, and we're working with Janine right now to have her support us through her home office. She has remote access, and we just need to make sure that she has everything in place for her to be supportive of us, but also where most importantly is that she's safe. As you're aware, we have a president's meeting coming up next week, and we have currently 64 members have registered, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that shortly. The following week, on the 9th of April, we also have our insurance meeting, and that's an important time because not only are we facing how we address working through COVID-19, also the coverage and the updates with the new program that we have. Another update is Rotaract. One of the items that we've done at the district is we are following online with the Council of Legislation and Rotary International. And Rotaract is no longer a youth service program. It is an independent program within the district. And I'm very pleased to say that we have a Rotaract Council that's being created right now, and nominations are being accepted for that council. And the council is to support all of our Rotaract clubs throughout our district and to help the creation of new Rotaract clubs. And I'm really pleased to say that we have a new club that's interested in being formed in Peace River, a new Rotaract club. So this is the time where this Rotaract Council is really important, and it's important for us to support them, and they want to support us also as well within all the work that's happening within our district and abroad. So those are the updates of the logistical pieces that are happening right now within the district. But I have to share with you, my heart is so filled with gratitude for the amazing stories and care how each of us are all reaching out to support each other and our communities. We know many clubs and our members are reaching out to each other and asking how people are doing. They've brought creative approaches to looking at hosting virtual meetings and coffee talks. And this is all new. Everything is new for us right now, where we're all exploring how we can continue to serve our communities, both at a local level and abroad. And we also know that it's different now today. It's a different look than what it was 3 weeks ago. So I thank you for your positive direction in this new space. And we are all in this together. And that's why this meeting today was so important. As we build this new norm, let's continue to care for each other. Let's continue to support each other. We are going to have some tough conversations, and I've had many tough conversations with many of you already on these are the bumps we're facing. But we are a team, and what's most important right now is we stay strong together. We know with membership right now, we have to support our clubs and help to ensure that they maintain engagement during these times. We know that many clubs have reduced their face-to-face meetings. We cannot do projects, we cannot have our social events or our fundraising events. We are concerned as a governor's team with the number of clubs that have gone dark. And you have, I'm sure, have identified some of those clubs as well. This is critical that we help them right now. We need to help them in maintaining connections to the within those clubs, and we need to help them to show opportunities of way they can continue to engage and use virtual technology to connect again. And as I mentioned, Jim's going to talk to us more about that later on the program. Some of the questions I'm getting from presidents are, what is Zoom? How does it work? We are revamping the front page of our website to help to have some of this information on there. So we have a team that's working on that this weekend, and we hope to have that updated for you next week. Other questions I'm getting are there a list of speakers that we can ask to virtually come in and speak at our meeting? I ask you, let's all build this list. If you want Jeffrey Cataract, our Rotary International Director, tell us. If you want Tim Shields, he's on the phone right now, tell him. He will be there for you. If you would like me to join your meeting, tell me. I am there for you and for any of the clubs. I believe that Jim up in Whitehorse at the Rendezvous has put out a call for me to join them for Wednesday, and I'm working on it to make sure I can be there. So I'll be at any club meeting I can be at. So will Jim, Donna, all of us. But if there's a certain topic that someone's looking for, please tell us. And let's build that list so that we have a good list going and have opportunities to share that list with our clubs. So we know we're facing this physical isolation. I haven't been out of my home in Grand Prairie for a couple of weeks other than to run to the grocery store quickly to grab necessities. But I also see this as an opportunity for us to create social cohesion. And again, using our online tools and social media is a great opportunity to enhance our fellowship and our friendship with each other. You know, here's opportunities clubs can do some sharing of having some picture contests, doing some dance moves, having coffee times. Last night, Vince and I had the opportunity to spend an hour and a half on a virtual meeting with some dear friends that we haven't been able to see face-to-face for a long period of time. And let me tell you, that just moved my heart and filled up my cup immensely. And so let's encourage our clubs to do this as well and fill their clubs up. Because not only have many people have lost their jobs, but they've been feeling, when they feel isolated, mental health also drops. And we know that we can help our clubs to create opportunities here to create a stronger connection within the clubs. Having opportunities of club members share their passion by doing a little self-recorded video and sharing that video online is also another opportunity. helping to get some interaction going, of sharing some fun things, and happy dollars online could also be something else that they can look at. And really looking at ways to create some engagement by writing some posts within the clubs and encouraging for each of us at a leadership level to let them know that we like what they're doing and we appreciate their leadership. We need to be connecting strongly, and that's why I share all of this. So another piece that we're also hearing bumps around, not only in the connection, but how do we do service right now? We have opportunities right now to use social media to share our passion for community, to show the organizations that are working hard on the ground, and maybe we do some fundraising efforts and allocate might be some happy dollars to our food banks right now because they're in desperate need. We can also do some coordinated projects by writing thank you cards to our first responders, our medical teams, and just sending on some messages to them to let them know how much we care and appreciate what they're doing. For those of you that are on my Facebook page, I posted an amazing video this morning that came out of Toronto, and it was some young students showing their appreciation to everyone that's responding right now. This is our opportunity to do some really good things and to shine, because Rotary does shine. There's some others that I'm hearing that are doing some quilting together. Imagine, throw your Facebook or your Facebook Live on or your Zoom and do some projects together that can be donated to charities or others later when we can get back on the ground. Some of the questions also is, how do we deal with dues? We know right now that clubs have dues and there's challenges around those dues. We need to ask our clubs to be flexible. They need to be nimble right now and recognize that, no, we don't have meal costs, but how can we support those individuals that are facing financial hardship, because they need us more than ever right now. And we need them. We know that we're going to be moving into this continued space of a new norm, and the community needs us. So as we take steps to go forward and strengthen within, we also need to ensure that we're strong and ready to launch and get back out to the community when we can. So innovation is key, and this is our time to share and to talk about things that we're doing or we're seeing and that we can share with our clubs. But I also want to share something with you that's troubling for me. And this happened a few weeks ago, right when all of the pandemic started, is I received a call from one of our elected governors, or pardon me, elected government officials concerned with Rotary, concerned with the negativity and some of the activities that were taking place on social media. Well, I say to you, we are all being judged right now. And we're being judged for what we do today on social media and our actions today, and we're going to be judged into the future. So we do have some Rotarians that are making some very un-Rotarian comments on posts on social media, and we need to advise them this is not acceptable. This does not follow the four-way test, and we are grounded by the four-way test. And so this is our time to lead, and for us to show our communities that we're there for them and that we are strong, and that we're going to commit to being able to serve our communities even at a stronger level when we move out of this. So again, we're in this together, and many of you have been on 911 with you, and you will always have my phone available for you, always. My phone, my text, my email, and I appreciate you. Let's continue to demonstrate our leadership. We are Rotary family, and we have work to do, and this is the time for us to shine and do the best we can. So I'm going to close there now. Haven't seen comments and things because I've got my screen up here, but I am going to now want to move to roundtable. And as you'll see by the agenda that's up, we have what we'd like for you to do is say your name, tell us who you are, to also share with us where you're from and what you're feeling and seeing. Now, Donna is going to time, because we recognize we've got a full slate of wonderful people here. She is going to time us to ensure that everyone has ample opportunity to share today. So, Donna, are you ready to get started?
I am.
Okay, so I'm going to stop my share here, and I'm just going to go by how everyone is lined up on my screen right now. And so I'm going to start with you, Doug Campbell. You're right up beside me there.
All right, just checking you can hear me. Everybody can hear me?
You bet.
Perfectly.
Oh, okay, thank you. So it's Doug Campbell, Rotary Club of St. Albert, Area 6. I took the opportunity to send an email out to the 4 clubs that I'm working with, and did get to hear back from 3 of them by the meeting. And I basically was asking them a series of questions about where they were at. So suffice to say, all 3, particularly 2 of which meet in facilities that were closed, have now moved to some form of online meeting. The first question that I had asked them is, are you canceled? And they all confirmed they were. And I suspect all 4 are canceled. They also reported back that they, as presidents, had all gone out via Club Runner to all their club members to make sure that everybody was well, and outlining how they were going to proceed. So where they've gone to now is that they are moving to Zoom. I should have bought shares in Zoom. Yeah, and so they've moved to Zoom, certainly for board meetings. And they're all moving to be able to hold some form of a weekly meeting with their club members. I asked them what are they are they doing anything? 2 of the clubs, and I'm not going to. I suspect that is the area governor for St. Albert on?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I won't talk about my club. He'll have that information. So what they're doing is that they are 2 are trying to set up virtual service projects, and Drayton Valley has made contact with their local FCSS as an example, and what they're doing is they're prepared to do this collect food that is put onto balconies kind of thing, or doorsteps, pick it up and move it, and also take meals to families that have been identified with FCSS. So some are actually starting to work on kind of virtual service projects. It does require them to go out, but they're doing it on a social distancing basis. And lastly, the question I asked is, what was the overall impact on the club? Many of these 4 clubs have had to cancel events, some of which were their fundraising events. So the overall impact then for some of our Rotary clubs is that unless they're prepared to dip into their equity that they may have as part of successful years, they will be struggling to meet demands within the community, probably 18 to 24 months down the road, until they refill their fundraising pots so that they're able to allocate to people in their community. So I think overall, one, they've continued to keep contact. They're setting up Zoom meetings. I was recently on our club meeting. I was actually the speaker. Many speakers are prepared to do the Zoom thing. If they're speakers, they generally have a natural ability to get on the Zoom and do that.
Doug, it's time. Sorry.
Thank you. So that's it. We're up.
Thank you.
Okay, so the next person, Jim, I know you're not an official area governor till the first of the year, but you do have also your feet on the ground in the Yukon. Can you also share with what you're seeing right now too as well?
Yeah, thanks, Tracy. I've been in touch with the 3 clubs, and basically at this point, all 3 have lost their major fundraisers. So all 3 are in some problems. One is a duck race on Canada Day. One is a thing with lobsters, a lobster fest. And if it goes far enough, then it's going to walk into Rendezvous's wine festival. But otherwise, they've shut down all meetings. Everything is copacetic there. And I think getting into Zoom. And Tracy, you mentioned that something about Wednesday with the Rendezvous Club. They don't meet on Wednesdays. So if somebody can let me know what arrangements are being made, I'm happy to join in. I'm also at home. I've been home for a couple of weeks. And the bit about investing on Zoom in Guatemala last month, there was a 25-foot by 25-foot sign advertising Zoom and asking you to invest in Guatemala City. So yeah, I missed that one too, unfortunately. But otherwise, everything is fine here. The only thing, again, Tracy, is the current AG stayed with 5010 because we have a peace scholar, or they have a peace scholar in South Africa. And Rotary International required that she still be with that district. So she's vanished off into that. So I'm kind of filling in there, but I just want to make sure I'm not stepping any toes on any of that. So if you're happy, I'm happy to do the work.
We need you, Jim, and I appreciate your offer. And, you know, you and I had some very solid time together when I was up in your beautiful community and country. And I appreciate your leadership in helping our clubs and helping our district. So reach out to both Jim and I as you do so. We're here to support you, and we appreciate your support. Thank you.
No, thank you. I appreciate that. One speaker, when someone mentioned the possibility of speakers that would be available for clubs, Ramesh Ferris is in the Rendezvous Satellite Club. I see Ramesh quite often. If you don't know the name, he's a polio survivor who did a cross-country Pacific to Atlantic hand cycle to raise money. And he travels all over the world to Rotary meetings doing talks about Polio Plus. And I'm sure I can get Ramesh into all of this. He's an amazing speaker.
If you could do that for us, that would be ideal. That would help us. And yeah.
Not a problem.
That's perfect. Okay, Jim, anything else?
No, we're in pretty fair shape. We have 4 cases, and we're under pretty well a complete lockdown up here, and we'll see where it goes. We thought we were somewhat remote, but somebody decided to go to a big conference in California, and guess what? We've got a couple of cases now. So, but otherwise, Rotary is in good shape. I'm trying to get them into Zoom or get them to join the e-club meetings, and there's some interest, but we'll see where that goes.
Wonderful. Thank you. Beautiful. Okay, Kylie, I'm going to go to you next.
So the 4 clubs up here all ceased with their meetings, and they've been keeping contact with one another through our multi-club meetings. So there's been quite a bit of activity between the presidents and the president-elects that way. They're all looking for strategies of how they can go online. And most of them have been looking at what they can do for the community once we can go out again. There's been caution about going out and doing things out in the community when we've been told to stay home. So they're being cognizant of that. I have heard back. I asked if there's anything they wanted me to bring forward today. And I've heard back from 3 of the 4 clubs, and they're wanting to know if District or Rotary International are going to reduce or suspend or do anything with dues. They've all stopped with invoicing for food, but they're coming up to quarterly invoices, and they're wanting to know, is District going to reduce or defer or do anything, because a lot of Rotarians have lost their jobs. So that's the only thing they asked me to bring forward.
So I can speak on behalf of the Rotary International. I've been on many, many calls with our district, our Premier Director, Jeffrey Cataract, and Valerie. There's been no discussion yet at RI on dues in regards to anything. As you can imagine, we're all in the state of trying to figure out the next thing. So at this time from RI, there's no direction. And we have a district board meeting coming up here on the 7th of April. At this time, it hasn't been discussed because we haven't had a board meeting since this all happened. We will have a discussion at that meeting. But there was also there was some discussion around dues at the special general meeting that was held last weekend. And our dues are, very, very minimal, but we still need to support our clubs right now. The importance of supporting our clubs too. So we operate in a deficit at the district, so it's a difficult place for us. And I put that out there very openly to you. So we need to, we have to be fiscally responsible at the district level, and we'll do the best we can when we talk about this with the district team, but it's a tough one for us too right now.
What I explained to one of the presidents that I was talking to is that the only income that district has is dues.
Yeah.
And so we have to be careful that we don't render the district insolvent because of reduction of dues. And so I think sometimes they think there's a magic pot that money comes out of. And so it might even just do well to explain. I think something probably needs to, once you have an answer, something probably needs to come from you, Tracy, back to the presidents.
Yeah, and thank you for that, Kylie. I will follow up after we have our board meeting and we have a discussion at our board meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Great, thank you, Kylie. Okay, John Nickel. John's on mute still, I think, here.
Gotta find the right button. Thanks, Tracy. Things are not a lot different in our clubs than the ones we've heard from so far. And I won't go into the specific clubs, but most have got some mechanism of checking with their members or are starting it. Some have got We Care groups, which are emailing club members, and people are sending out more emails. They've all pretty much, every one of them has had their fundraisers postponed, some to an indefinite date, some into the fall. The one thing that we're waiting to hear from, and I'm not sure it'll come soon, is any word from AGLC on when casino dates, what's going to happen to the casino dates that have been canceled. So I suspect that's not going to happen until the fall, but most of us get our major funds from casinos, and so it's something to keep an eye on. It's
John,
also something to remind clubs about.
Sorry, I'll just interrupt you to speak on behalf of on the AGLC. What I can advise you is Vince is on the AGLC board, and they are meeting steady dealing with this. So I can tell you from his comments, they're all in unknown right now. So we can continue to update you as we hear from them.
Yeah, that was what I was expecting. We probably won't hear anything as far as rescheduled dates until the fall, but that's just one of those things. But it is something to keep an eye on. And the other thing is that with respect to district dues, I haven't double checked, but I'm pretty sure that AGLC gaming funds can be used to pay district dues by clubs. So it was mentioned at the meeting on Saturday that it's up to the clubs as to how much of that district dues increase gets passed on to the members. And it was suggested you don't need to do that. You can dip into your own funds for that. So a couple of our clubs are participating in Zoom meetings. Some are doing it now, and others are looking at it. And I think, Tracy, anything on the website that will help the clubs that aren't as Zoom knowledgeable as our club will help. One of the things that our Zoom people, because we've got a couple of people in our clubs that use Zoom in their businesses on a regular basis, is the importance of making sure that your meeting is tailored to Zoom. Is that you've got a speaker with a sharp presentation or focused presentation. It's a different way, but people will learn. But any tips or information that can be provided to say, keep it to 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Have a speaker who's used to dealing on Zoom for your first couple of meetings. But any additional information on that will help. But we're pretty much in the same category as everybody else. We're looking out for our members. We get a daily email from our We Care giving us positive messages. And we're checking in with some of our more vulnerable members.
Perfect. Thank you, John. Fabulous. Jason Whiting. Jason from Lloydminster.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Yeah, so a lot of the same comments as everybody else. Everybody has canceled their in-person meetings. Executives are meeting by Zoom. Our Lloydminster Club is going to be hosting our first Zoom meeting here on Monday. So that'll be an interesting one to see how that goes, and looking forward to again, trying something new and different to accommodate these times. So that's a Lloydminster Club. Border City Club, big fundraiser, had to be canceled here, their Irish pub night. Unfortunately, that had to be canceled. But the good news is that Saskatchewan Liquor and Gaming allowed the ability to continue with the lottery that they did, had the $100 ticket lottery. That did go ahead. They basically sold out all those tickets, and all they had to do was go down to the location where it was supposed to be held and draw the ticket outside, and they did that, and everything went well. So the funds came in that way still, like it did. North Battleford, you've seen on their Facebook a donation that they've made in these current times. I do need to reach out with them and get an update on how they're doing meetings and that sort of stuff. Same with Vermilion. Vermilion's big fundraiser here this spring is a garage sale. That won't be going ahead. Back to Lloydminster Club, we did host a garage sale just before things went sideways, and it went well. $5,000 raised in that little garage sale. It's certainly pushing our clubs to innovate when it comes to technology. I was pushing to get Square payment or some sort of online payment for years, and all of a sudden I found out that here we are accepting Square credit card debit payments now. So it's good that way. Nice to see just people having to make those decisions and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I think there's still some questions about what social distancing equates to and how cautious we're supposed to be. And you know, I like the idea of donation to the food bank. You know, maybe you've heard online through Alberta Health Services that they're not accepting food or stuff at medical facilities, or nurses aren't accepting any treats or gifts or that sort of thing. And I don't know how far we should go with this and how cautious we need to be. It's kind of I don't know. It's tough to kind of know for sure. I think one thing that maybe is questioning is, you know, is there a district initiative that maybe will come up later today in this meeting, but is there a district initiative? Should we be asking for N95 masks or something like that? Is there anything that we can be doing as a club for this COVID thing? But I'll wait till later to hear more about that.
That's great. Thank you, Jason. Jason and everyone else. So Jason, I would love for you to share the Battleford's direction and what they've done with their recent very significant gifts to the community to support, to share that on our Facebook group. I had sent them a message as well asking them to do that, but I don't see it there. That's the time where we can, our platform where we can share and really highlight the good things that we're seeing happening, and it may entice others to also get on board and be part of it too as well. Awesome, thank you. Okay, I'm going to move to Howard now. Howard, welcome. You've stepped into a new role. Today is your first meeting of getting familiar with the area governors, so thank you for joining us. How are you?
Very well. Thank you very much, Tracy. First of all, I'm really excited to be part of this team here, and hopefully my contribution will be done in a very, very positive manner. So I just talked to Jim a couple days ago. I haven't reached out to them yet, but I will be talking to Jim in the next week of what the expectations are on a going forward basis. So I'm getting my feet wet here. Of course, all of our meetings are canceled as well. We had our first executive meeting on Thursday night. It went okay. The first meetings this way are always rough, working some rough areas out, but I think it's going to go along fairly well. We do have our next executive meeting scheduled for next month, as well as we need to have a business meeting, so we're going to go ahead with that on Zoom as well. We will be reaching out to the community next week, to our community leaders, and finding out if there is something that our club can do to help, given the current situation. I'm not quite sure what that looks like. I am the vice chairman of the Regional Tourism and Economic Development Board, so I will be also reaching out to them and seeing if there's something Rotary can do to help out in any way, shape, or form. We're no different than anybody else. We've also had to cancel. Our club has had to cancel major fundraisers, including the first of all, our dinner theater, which is a major fundraiser this June, is canceled. We will be making a decision next month for our major celebrity dinner, which is a huge fundraiser for us. We have Jamie Saleh, Olympic gold medalist, coming in to be our celebrity. Fortunate thing to her is that her mom is originally from Athabasca, so she's very, very flexible. You know, if we have to cancel, we don't have to drop a big contract, that kind of thing. So I really don't have a lot to report. We're going to try and move along best we can with the Athabasca Club, given the circumstances. If we could have a general meeting done by Zoom, and certainly I can't see why a Zoom meeting with 45 members isn't doable. So that's about all I have to report for now. Okay.
Oh, wonderful, Howard. And thank you so much for your leadership. You're also a current president right now. And so you're guiding the ship through these uncertain terms at a local level, and also now stepped up to support at the district level, and really appreciate your guidance. And you've also worked through working with a youth exchange student and
Yep.
needing to work through that. And I appreciate your leadership. Thank you.
Thanks. Good.
Sally, how are you this fine morning?
You caught me playing Pokemon. I'm good. I'm really good.
Thanks for the laugh.
So Dawson Creek, Fort St. John, Fort Nelson. We're on the other side of the border. We don't have the luxury of your Alberta gaming. So that makes things a little bit more interesting for us. I reached out to a few clubs, those that reached back to me, great. Dawson Creek clubs are both exploring online options. Sunrise Club has started using Zoom, and they're really enjoying it. I mean, there are not very many members. There are not many members that are on it. Tim says I'm garbled. Am I garbled?
You are. Yeah. Can
Okay,
you
listen carefully. Not many members are actually going on to Zoom, but that will grow. Dawson Creek Rotary Club is doing a different platform, and I was looking all over to see what it was, but I can't find it now. So Fort St. John, interesting. Both Dawson Creek and Fort St. John have come off some very major fundraisers. So fundraisers are in the bank, and I guess that's a good thing for those communities. Fort St. John, interestingly enough, has gone dark. They're not meeting right now on any platform. And some of the members are saying that's not necessarily a bad thing right now. They've been very busy with the Winter Games up in Fort St. John and some fundraisers, so they're actually a little happy to take a break. But I will be reaching out and making sure that that break doesn't extend too long, and that they do get together. One member did tell me she's feeling a bit isolated, so we need to make sure these members are being, we reach out and talk to them. I haven't heard from Fort Nelson, but I do know they've had to postpone one of their major fundraisers. I think it's just they have an option. I think they just postponed it and not canceled it, but I'll be reaching out to them to see what's going on. It's interesting timing, like I said, because February, March were, especially the beginning of March, were very busy months for these clubs with major fundraisers. So then how do they provide service in their community? We'll have to see what they're doing. I know there's been a lot of positive Facebook messages and thank yous on Facebook towards the community. And so maybe that's what they'll be doing, is just reaching out to their community through the social media and providing positive message. And you know what, that's what's needed right now anyway. So the rest can wait. That's my report.
Great. And I would like you also to check in with Chetwin. I've tried to check in
with
them.
Yeah.
And
Chetwin.
Yes. So if you could check in with them, please, that would be great. And we can set up an online meeting with them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Awesome, Sally. Fabulous. Thank you. Okay, Scott, you are on a beach somewhere, or at least you're pretending to be, and I love that we can do that. Welcome to the team. This is your first opportunity to join in our conversations, and we appreciate you step up to support on a leadership level as well. Can we not hear? Okay, I can't hear Scott. Can anyone? No, we can't hear you. You're not on mute. Sorry. Do you have headphones?
Must be the waves crashing in the background. That's
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Can you hear me now?
yeah,
Okay.
Perfect.
coming
Okay.
through the headphones.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, don't know what happened there. And I know Marilyn's on the line, so maybe I'll go quick, and then she can have the other half to talk about what she's hearing. So I am new. I'm in charge of my club, White Ave, the Yeg Passport Club, as well as Edmonton West. And I'm meeting with the president-elects on Tuesday. So this is timely, so I can pass on some updates to them. I'd say for the last 2 weeks, at least for the current situation, we have dealt with the chaos, but we're now moving to online meetings. Starting April. Fortunately, my company has access to a GoToMeeting, so we'll be using that to do those meetings. But I'm also listening to everyone saying, I'm taking notes, saying, yeah, it'd be good to check in with Kevin and the current team to see what's going on and be a bit more visible on social media. But we also don't have major fundraising activities. We don't have a casino until 2021, so we'll see what happens there. But I can see financially the clubs will need to perhaps really tighten things up and just get through all of this. But yeah, I think now is the time to reflect and see what we can do. I think it was Jason from Lloydminster he was talking about are there any community district level things that we can as a group put money towards. But I was just thinking, even with our own club, if we want to use some fundraising money to help support buying personal protective gear to donate to the U of A Emerge, because it sounds like they need some stuff, as well as do a club level donation to the food bank. But that's something that I can bring up with President Kevin and see what we want to do. Marilyn, is there anything you wanted to add?
Yeah, Scott, I think it was important to share that White Avenue is still doing a community service project in a very unique way. We were going to do cooking for Skills Society at a specific location, and because we're not governed by AHS rules of using a commercial kitchen, we are preparing meals for 13 individuals and freezing them. So I think we have about 10 different meals, adding cookies and muffins and whatever else to the mix, and we'll be picking all those up and delivering them on Tuesday. So thank you for that lead in, Scott, and I'm glad that the White Ave Club could manage to do that. Not all clubs can do those kinds of things, but I challenge them all to think about being innovative. A project that came to mind would be Days for Girls, the sewing of those hygiene kits and whatnot. Perhaps there are clubs that could tap into doing that, because you can do that from home. There's no restriction of doing that. So Scott, you're taking over 3 of my clubs. You mentioned White Ave, Passport, and Edmonton West. Passport they keep in touch with their members through a Facebook work group or whatever it's called, but they haven't had a meeting since the lockdown. They're just staying in touch with people. My other clubs, Riverview, Glenora, and the Downtown Edmonton Club. The Glenora Club is starting online meetings next week. Riverview has not responded to my requests for information about their executives for next year. I don't know what's going on with them, so I'm going to have to pick up the phone because emails aren't working. The Edmonton Club, I have concerns about the current president, Neil. He has an elderly father who's also a member of that club. Most of you know Robert Lang. How do you not know Robert Lang with the booming voice and everything else? He's not in great health. And so Neil, the president, is spending a lot of time with him, and that club is not doing anything right now. So I'm going to be reaching out to the president-elect, who's also on the board, and see what we could do to support that club. They have a lot of older members, not sure what their acceptance is of technology. Believe it or not, there's some members that don't have email in that club. So that one is going to be a challenge, and I'll be working together with District Governor Tracy and others on how we can support that club in general. I have a couple of other, one other suggestion regarding online meetings. One of the members of the White Avenue Club is a psychiatrist. He works at Alberta Hospital, and I know that well because my neighbor is a director of that institution. He specializes in, well, I shouldn't say specializes. His area of focus is on youth suicide. We're looking to see if we can tap into his expertise for an online meeting on how we can support not only our young people, but our members in general with the stress that this situation is causing. So as soon as I get confirmation of that, I'll send that information to you, Tracy, and perhaps all the AGs. If the White Avenue Club or what other club might want to have him as a speaker, that others might want to dial in.
Perfect. And Marilyn, we're also going to be talking about holding some coffee chats and some other meetings regularly with the district. This may be a really good topic for us to bring forward at that coffee chat.
Okay.
So if you can work offline with me with those details, then I think that would be a very, very good topic to bring up. Perfect. Okay.
Can I add just one quick thing? Since clubs are doing a lot of meetings online, it might be worth adding to the district calendar details of each of the meetings in case for makeups people want to go to different clubs based on the topic, because they can attend them online. Just a thought.
Once we show you the draft today, that's happening. It's all, everything's been set up ready. We're going to also, one of the things I'm going to be needing is help in getting some Facebook events and things set up too as well, Scott. So we're going to come back to that. Perfect.
Sounds good. Okay.
Awesome. Good stuff. Thank you.
And don't forget the e-club meetings are always there 24/7.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to now move to Terry. Terry, welcome to the team. You were part of the Governor Stream, or area Governor Stream years back when I was also an area governor. So I've had the chance to work with you at a variety of areas. Really appreciate that we're sharing today and that you've come on board to be part of the leadership team going forward. Would you like to share too as well?
Thank you, Tracy. Hi, everyone. Our club is Edmonton Sunrise with Donna. And I'm on the We Care committee. I am the We Care committee. And so we have started not only having our Zoom meetings, which we had yesterday at 7 in the morning, we also are doing, each week is a different theme. And this week was movie night. So Thursday night, we said we're all going to the movies and everybody with what movie they watched and give a review of it and whether the club would like it. Now, as of today, I'm going to be sending out, we're going to be a book review club. And so we're going to do books, and next Thursday everyone will check in with the book. And each week it'll be a different theme to run by. I'm looking forward to being an AG and working with some new clubs. Now, I'm not sure about reaching out to them yet. Is it too soon, and is it stepping on the current AG toes or not?
No, we will ask you to work with the current AG in helping to start to move forward, and Jim will be part of that leadership with you. Okay, Terry, perfect.
Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you. Okay, I love the idea of a book review club online, for another great option there. Lou, can you welcome from Camrose? Thanks for joining us today. How are things in the Camrose area?
Well, Camrose is just ticking right along. So first of all, I also have clubs in Vegreville and Wainwright, and I have to confess I have not spoken with the presidents there. I have been a little busy doing a number of other things for the last couple of weeks, but I will reach out to them soon and make sure that I can pass on some of the information that that I'm getting from this particular meeting. So the Camrose clubs are both meeting online. The Rotary Club of Camrose has been using the Zoom technology for a number of months for occasional board meetings and recording our speakers, our regular meetings. But there hasn't been much take up from our members until we actually are only meeting online. So we had our first Zoom noon meeting last Monday, and we had 13 of our members log in, which is good attendance for our club. And I was very pleased at some of the people who embraced the new technology and gave it a shot. So I was very happy with that. And so we do continue to, both clubs will be meeting online at the regular meeting times. I'm really happy to get some of these ideas of things to do at the meetings. I love the idea of the movie night and the book review, so thank you for that, Terry. the Rotary Club of Camrose has an annual gala dinner scheduled for April 25th, which of course is postponed indefinitely now. And so that being our major fundraiser of the year, we'll be probably dipping into reserves to finish off this year and having to make some tough decisions about going forward. But you know, it all depends on how things roll out in the future. So we're not in a position to be sweating it a lot right now. We're just getting through. Many of our members have come back from early from Arizona and places south. So most of them, I think, are almost finished isolating now, but we've been reaching out to them to make sure that they have groceries and things that they need. And one fundraiser that we were planning, or we were in the midst of when this happened, is a wine and craft beer survivor. And we've continued with that because nobody needs to meet. We're going to do the draws by Zoom, and you know, we'll individually go out and shop and buy the wine and beer that we need, and we'll figure out how to get it to the winners. But our contest entries closed yesterday, and we'll be doing our daily draws starting next week by Zoom, and keeping up with the fun on Facebook. So we're able to continue with that fundraiser. And that's about it from Camrose. The community itself, there's very few cases here that we know of, and people are being quite mindful about physical distancing, and especially in grocery stores and things, people are being very polite, and so it's all right. We're doing okay.
It's good to hear, and stay healthy, Lou, too, as well. Wonderful, thank you. Now, Matt, you're new as well to our team. Thank you so much for joining us all the way from Fort McMurray today. Really wonderful to have you on board. Can you give us a little bit of information about Fort McMurray, what's happening there right now? Oh, is he? I can't hear you, Matt. Can anyone hear him? I don't know if Jim, if you can.
No, I think it's on Matt's end.
Okay.
Because he's not muted here. I was hearing him when you first joined the meeting.
Yeah, he was.
I know he's a strong silent type, but.
Do you have any earphones, Matt, that you can use? Sometimes just plugging in with a headset works. Maybe we'll just move past Matt. Matt, try to see what you can do to fix it. We're going to move past you, and oh, there you are.
Oh, is it working now?
Oh, yeah. You are on. Yes.
Welcome back. Okay, so hopefully my connection holds out. It's been fairly spotty this last week. We have a internet upgrade coming soon. Yeah, so I just want to thank you for having me part of this team. Really excited to work with this group. I represent the Oil Sands Rotary Club and the Rotary Club of Fort McMurray. And I'm just so you all know, I'm just coming back into Rotary. I took a little bit of a hiatus as I have a 20-month daughter. So getting myself more familiar with what's going on with the clubs right now. On Zoom. Recently, the Fort McMurray hit decision from the municipality around the golf course. So they're still working through that. So we're pretty hopeful that we're going to be able to operate this this summer. But there's a lot of work to be had there. And then the Oil Sands Club, I think membership has been a challenge for a little while. So I'll just have to familiarize myself with what's, if this has impacted it further. But it seems that there's a good group there that is connecting on the Zoom side. Yeah, so I'll just finish with, I'm really excited to be working with this group on these challenges. And yeah, just looking forward to see what we can do.
Wonderful, Matt, and we really appreciate you've stepped on board and taking a leadership role. You do have also been dealing through the economic challenges, the rebuilding from the fires, and now this. So your community really needs you, and we appreciate you taking the leadership to support your clubs and to help your clubs be the best they can for your community, and also to ensure you've got a good, strong family of Rotary there. Thank you. Stefan, thank you so much for being available again. Stefan is one of our wonderful doctors, and we appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. How are you?
Oh, no, very good. Thank you. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
And see me? Okay. As you know, I'm the representative for Area 8, Edmonton Southeast, Gateway, Sherwood Park, and Fort Saskatchewan. I've reached out to all of the clubs, and I've only gotten back and got some information from 2 clubs. So I'll just quickly report on them. Basically the same. Everybody's moved to online meetings via Zoom bi-weekly. And it seems like everybody's just getting used to this new platform. But it's from Sherwood Park, it seems like there's quite a few people that have difficulty with this issue around the dues, and it looks like they will definitely welcome some definitive direction with regard whether there's going to be some kind of a relief or postponement or something, whatever the case might be. They've opted not to stop with the organization of their major event, which is the planting of trees, as well as the golf tournament that they're going to have in the summertime, and they're going to hope that things will blow over. But of course, they can keep in close watch on this whole isolation effort that's been going on within our province to mitigate the risk for the transmission of this disease, or keeping it under wraps as much as possible. With regard to Sherwood Park, as you know, it's a smaller club. They only got 13 members. And they have unbelievable amount of project going. They were lucky that they could finish their Death by Chocolate fundraiser event just literally 3 weeks prior to this blow up, as well as they were able to get the casino done too. So the major fundraising events are over and done with. But they're a club that have a lot of friends of Rotary that helps them, that they've got so many projects that in my opinion, I think that when a new member gets in there, the other members are so tired and say, thank God you're here, and they dump too much thing, and everybody runs for the hills. So I think they've got too many things on the go, and I think President Ted Griffiths, I think he shares that view, and said that some of the projects are going to have to go. And they more specifically Operation Red Nose. He's worked out and tallied up the amount of hours they've done, and they just works out to be about 100 hours that they're doing to be able to drive 12 people. And it's just not time that's put too good to use there. And so there are some people that it's their baby and their club, and they want to continue with it, but it seems like the writing is on the wall for that program in Fort Saskatchewan. I haven't heard anything back from Gateway or Southeast. I know, Doctor, that Daniel Maromo, the president, went to Zimbabwe, where he's from, over Christmas time, and he wasn't able to get back. There was some issues with regard to flight scheduling, as well as problems within the country itself. So I haven't heard back. I've left some messages and sent some emails, but so I'm still a little bit in the dark there. But hopefully I'll be able to get news on that soon. And yeah, I came back from South Africa on my tour and immediately had to self-isolate because everything, and I have to. So I'm just emerging from my isolation for 2 weeks. So now I can start back and go back to work, and of course we're all doing our best. Like people know you've got this virus thing. There's two ways of fighting it. First of all, if the virus is in the house, then it's very difficult to treat, and you're going to have some casualties. And but the most important thing is to make sure that that virus doesn't get into the door. And especially in our long-term care facilities, where I'm director of Sherwood Care and Sherwood Park, and we've taken some extraordinary measures to be able to mitigate that risk of getting that virus to be transmitted into the safe cocoon that we have in our long-term cares. So, I'm just amazed to see how all the people in our public are adhering to all the measures that's put up by our health authorities, and I can tell you for sure that we are at the we're not behind, we're not chasing the ball. We are the people in the Edmonton area. We are actually chasing and looking for possible cases and identifying these people and then isolating people right away. It's not like we don't know that we are scatterbrained. The health authorities are definitely on the ball here, and I think one of the reasons why we're making headway is because of the public that are so helpful. It's quite an invasion of our privacy and our freedoms and rights, but it's in the long run it's the right thing to do.
So Stefan,
that's about it for me.
Well, Stefan, thank you for that. And I actually just wrote down, would you be interested in doing a coffee talk with me for the district to have some conversation with and be open to all of our district members? So I'll leave that with you, and you and I can maybe follow up on that, or to see if that's an opportunity. Okay.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Devin, you're new to our team. Thank you so much for stepping forward to help to support our Grand Prairie team following Kylie's work. So welcome, and thanks for being available today. You're next.
Thanks. So yeah, my name is Devin Potter. I'm with the Rotary Club of Grand Prairie After 5. Some of you may remember me as your MC for the district conference this last year, so it's good to see some familiar faces. Yeah, I'm really excited to be stepping in after Kylie, and her and I haven't really had too much of a chance to connect yet. This all happened pretty quickly and just right around this COVID-19 time, so it's been a little bit hectic. But I guess I'll just speak more to our club and what our community is doing in general. Our club has gone into Zoom meetings, and of course we're looking at all different ways to connect with one another. We had our first Zoom meeting on Wednesday, and it was just a basic catch up and just connect with our members and see how everyone's doing, and just asking them what they're doing for the community right now. So a lot of what people are doing, of course, is self-isolating, but they're getting to know their neighbors a little bit better. Helping one another out. If somebody's quarantined and needs groceries, they're buying those groceries, dropping them on their doorstep. One of our members has a neighbor that's quarantined, but then also looks after his own mother. So they've been doing the groceries for their neighbor and their neighbor's mom, which has been really kind. So I think people are just really getting back to the basics of connecting with one another. On a community level, we've also been sharing what resources are needed right now, and of course the food bank and our community kitchen, which is a hot meal service, are the ones that are in desperate need right now immediately. So we've got funds set up for that we've shared, as well as our COVID-19 response that'll be addressing more of the organizations that are helping people with their health and wellness going forward, in all different areas, from child welfare to mental health to the assault and all areas, I guess. Yeah, I guess one thing that I would mention to everyone is not to forget to check in on your Interact and Rotaract members. I think that those are important. Our own I'm one of the chairs for the youth committee of our club. And so just checking in with your Interact members. I mean, this world changed for them too. All of a sudden, there's a lot of them that are still needing to apply for scholarships and will need assistance with that. And also that their school world just got flipped upside down. They're not sure if they're going to have a graduation ceremony this year and things like that. So this is all new for all of us. So just looking at connecting with them, maybe inviting them to your meeting. I mean, I think that's a great way. We're all talking about how do we get new membership? How do we expand that? So by inviting our Rotaract and Interact members to sit in on our meetings, it's a really simple way online. They feel maybe a little bit more secure just from their own kitchen or wherever it is, and getting to just listen in and feel welcomed. I think it's a really great way to just connect with people right now and to really share that. Yes, my puppies are participating. They're barking upstairs. Apologies for that. They're my supervisors and they're very upset that they can't be supervising in on this meeting this morning. Yeah, so I guess that's really it for me, but I just wanted to mention the youth piece as that's very near and dear to my heart, and just making sure that we're connecting with those individuals as well, and that our club is really happy to be going online and just connecting with one another right now and knowing what resources are out there that we can assist with right now.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Devin. And thank you for those of you that don't know, Devin and I worked together for another couple of weeks here, and she's been a very strong leader in helping our community and respond to what we're dealing with right now. So thank you so much, Devin. Yeah. And next I see Jason Sevingson. Now, Jason, we don't see your fine face today, but we hear your voice, and we're excited to hear how you're doing too as well.
Yes, I would share my picture today, but I'm not looking very, I'm looking kind of grizzly Adamish these days, so I thought I'd just leave my picture off. So, no, everything's going quite well for the most part. I've been reaching out to my clubs. I haven't heard back from all of them, but with the work and everything like that, obviously, like the rest of us, been busy with organizing people on how to work from home and all that sort of stuff, and implementing new measures and everything like that. So it's been taking my time a little bit away from my Rotary world. But the updates I can provide are Stony Plain has, which is one of my clubs. I'm Area 5, which covers Stony, Spruce Grove, Parkland After Dark, both St. Albert clubs in Morinville. And so I'll start with my home club, Stony Plain. As we just had a virtual happy hour last night at 5 o'clock, and we just visited, and we had a glass of wine or a beer or whatever you wanted, and everything like that, and everybody seemed to enjoy it. There's some challenges. It was funny to hear some people talk about Zoom. They're like, you know, one of our members said, you know what, I've never heard of this Zoom thing, and I've had 3 Zoom meetings this week. So it's getting used to that and showing people how to use the technology and everything like that. But I know we'll get there, and we will be having our monthly executive meeting will take place next week over Zoom as well too. So, and for those of you that may not know or that are new to this group, Stony Plain has recently changed their meeting dates. We only meet on the 1st and 3rd Wednesdays of the month. We're doing a pilot project for 6 months to see how that goes and everything like that. And it seems to be, well, it was going well until all this pandemic started and everything. So, but we are keeping in touch with each other through email as well too. Spruce Grove, I know, have moved to virtual meetings as well too. They are currently doing bi-weeklies as well while this pandemic is going on. And also as well too, they are still moving forward with their fundraiser and working closely with the city of Spruce Grove to see on how it's going to go. It all depends on what AHS decisions are made, but they're doing a Rib Fest and end of July, and at this point in time they're still moving forward with that. But obviously if they can't do it because of you're not allowed any bigger gatherings, like was announced yesterday, then they will have to cancel it. But all the rib vendors and the city of Spruce Grove are still moving forward as it will plan to happen. So we'll just keep in touch and see how that goes there. Parkland After Dark, I know until just recently they were still meeting, but I haven't heard back from them to see if they've moved to virtuals now. They are smaller clubs, so they were underneath the gathering methods there, and they're not that. So, but I haven't heard from them whether or not they're going virtual now, or what their plan is. Like I say, they're only a club of a dozen members, so you know, they can get together a little bit easier than probably everybody else can. St. Albert, Doug already hinted on that already. They're doing virtual meetings as well, and I'm not too sure about the other St. Albert club. And Morinville. I was hoping Simon was going to be on the call. He could help me out with Morinville a little bit, since that's his club, and he's also AG as well. But yeah, that's really all I got to report on. So
that's great, Jason. And I encourage you to reach out to Simon. I know he's dealing with a lot on a professional level too right now. So if you could reach out to him, that would be tremendous.
I will do that.
Wonderful, thank you. Well, thank you for the amazing sharing. I think, Tim, you're the only one I didn't connect with, right? And because you're next on the agenda. But I believe that everyone had some tremendous, shared some tremendous opportunities here. So I'm going to move now to Tim. Tim, we're going to move the agenda to you. And then when we come to a close, there's some really good things that have been coming up in the Zoom chat that we can summarize and just make sure that our toolboxes are full to move forward with. So Tim, the platform, the screen is yours.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Tracy, and good morning, everyone. Nice to see all your shining faces this morning. This is actually my second Zoom meeting of the morning. I got up for a 6 a.m. meeting with the District 6400 Passport Club. They had John Germ speaking, so I thought he might have a little bit of wisdom he could share. It was a very good meeting. He had some very good ideas about going forward with Foundation right now. I will tell you at the beginning of this, I look like I'm not looking at you because my camera is in the little computer on the side and I've got a big screen in front of me. So I am looking at you, but over to the side. Anyway, I will share I'll send you all an email afterwards, and I'll find the recording of that meeting from this morning. Had a lot of really good information in it that I think you would appreciate. And even in about how clubs around the world are doing different things. My main focus this morning, of course, is what's going on with Foundation right now. So this is a letter that we received, and most of your club presidents have actually already received this letter. Wayne McCutcheon, our grants chair, forwarded it to club presidents, but you guys will get a copy of it after this meeting. Just so what's going on with district grants, an adjustment that was made by the Board of Trustees just on Tuesday, is they've opened up a lot to be able to use district and global grants for a response to the COVID-19 pandemic. So what that means for us, as far as the district grants, we do have a contingency fund. We had set aside about $5,000 to be used for a First Nations project this year that has not come into existence so far. So we're just in the process of redesigning, and we'll allow clubs to apply for a portion of that to be able to do COVID response within your communities. And each community is going to look a little different. We do want to give priority to First Nations or Indigenous projects, but we will adjust for that. I did get a note yesterday that we do have more than 6,000 sitting there right now. 5,000 is what was set aside for a project, and the rest is for administration. So at the board meeting next week, I'll see if I can talk them into releasing those funds as well to be used for COVID-19. The other thing that's within that is we are allowed to repurpose funds. So we have a number of clubs that have not been able to complete their district grants in the current year. Some of those are related to, they were going to fund the Ripon or Riley participants. And of course, those have now been canceled or postponed. So the money that they were allocated for that, if they wish, they can repurpose it and use it for a COVID-19 response, or they can just postpone it till next year. COVID-19 for 2021 is eligible for a district grant. And the exception this year, normally you cannot spend any district grant money before July 1st of the year, but they will allow any spending between the 15th of March 2020. So if clubs want to do a COVID-19 response, they don't have to wait until July to get the money or final approval before they start spending. They can use the money that they spend right now, as long as they do the district grant training starting next week. We do have 5 sessions set up for the grant training. And as of yesterday, we have 67 people that are registered between the 5, which is really good and is a lot. The disaster response, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. Each district can apply for one grant of up to $25,000. I heard from Jennifer Jones this morning that the Board of Trustees set aside $1 million for disaster response to COVID-19. I'll be very honest, I think the need is going to be a lot greater in a lot of other districts in the world than it will be within ours. But it's certainly something that we can look at getting into. The other big change is with global grants. If we have a big project that we want to do within our district or even just within Canada, we can do that with global grant funding and our own district designated. Normally, you have to have 30% foreign financing. That's no longer required for the COVID, if it's a COVID-19. So we can do it all right within our own district, which is a nice move as well. I want to bring up what Battleford is doing. Battleford was supposed to have their 100th anniversary celebration on April the 24th. They had Colonel Chris Hadfield was coming to their club, and of course they've had to postpone that. And in the meantime, what they are doing is they've committed up to $50,000 to support emerging food needs within the community. So this letter sets out exactly how they're doing that. I think this is important to bring to other clubs in our district and just show them how they can use their money. I know in Dawson Creek, we were very lucky that our auction, which is an online auction, so I guess it wouldn't have been threatened too much, but had a record year and it ended on the 15th of March. So I think we have a lot there to use. So these are all food programs. One of the things that I heard about this morning as well from John, well, several people, was, you know, like our auction is all funded by local small business. And local small business has always been one of the biggest funders for Rotary. And we have to remember them, and we have to find a way to make sure that we're supporting them through this crisis as well. I know my own daughter and son-in-law have 2 stores in Dawson Creek that are mostly closed right now. They're doing deliveries and a little bit of curbside, but no walk-in traffic. And it's tough. Like, you've got employees that you want to have stay around. So, you know, we have to find a way to help them as well. As far as, yes, Matt, I can let you know if your clubs are registered. I've been going through and I've got the attendance list. So what I'll do is I'll just download the attendance lists and send all of them to you guys so you can see which clubs from your area are registered. I better write that down to do that or I'll forget.
You've got a lot of people to remind you here. That's great.
Yes. And just this morning, I did receive a note from HIP, which is Helping Indigenous People. And it's got a lot of information about where the needs are. I honestly got it about 15 minutes before I signed into this, so I haven't read it closely, but I will share that information with all of you and have it more ready for the presidents next week. I don't want to just keep talking. If you guys have any specific questions, I'm happy to help you. I will say, as far as presentations, I have done presentations through Zoom to Camrose, Lloydminster, Drayton Valley, Grand Prairie. We are up and ready to do foundation presentation, and Sally and I just got back from Malawi. We were with Fani in South Africa and then Malawi, and we visited Atsakana Paulendo, which is a school started by Christy Johnson. She was one of the co-founders, Larry Johnson's daughter. So we can give an update on what's going on there. Some very inspirational stories as far as how much of a difference education is making. And Doug, at some point, I'd like to connect with you online because I have an idea for what your club should do to honor Larry.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Tim. This is great. There already, as you've addressed one of the questions, I'm going to see if there's one more question at all for Tim. And if not, we're going to move into next with Donna Barrett in the Learning and Development. No further questions? Okay, Tim, thank you so much again.
Okay.
I really appreciate you being here.
Happy to be here. This is fun.
Yes, this is a great way to connect. So Donna, I'm going to move it to you, and I'm just going to show my screen of your document here so that you can.
Oh, okay. I have mine up. I've got it. Okay.
Perfect. Sounds great.
All right. And you're going to time me, right, Tracy?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
I'm going to give you the 10 minutes. Here we go.
Okay. Well, I don't think I'll need that long. So it's great to connect with everybody. What we've been working on is a plan to basically move what we were going to do with the spring assembly online, and through a combination of using the online learning center and then a series of webinars. So in the first, what I'm showing you right now, I think Tracy has already referred to. So these are Zoom sessions or webinars that we're setting up for clubs, and they're open to everyone. So I think the way that you can help us is to get the word out to your clubs. So Jim is going to host a Learn Zoom meeting on March 31st, and he's going to get a few of his club members to share their experiences and deal with some of that technology. So lots of people are on it, but there may be some clubs who could really benefit from that. Tracy then on April 6th, you can read, is hosting a coffee, Connect Over Coffee. And so we'll be sending out the information to get people to register for that. This is the online Spring Leadership and Development Plan. And as I mentioned, it's in two parts. For the Learning Center, what I'm really hoping will be one of the benefits of our current situation is that our club leaders will become really familiar with the online learning center. This will be sent out to yourselves and to the presidents-elect. The links that you see here will take people right to the area that they need to focus on. So we'll want to get this in their hands. There's also a webinar that Marilyn actually recommended, and maybe a number of you have seen the Courageous Leadership webinar. It's really worth taking a look at. So we're asking people to make sure they do this work. Then the second part is hosting a series of online webinars for current presidents, presidents-elect and assistant governors, and the times are here that you'll see when this is sent out. We've got the first two topics. We have a couple of ideas for other topics, but what we're really hoping is that we can be responsive to what we're hearing when Tracy has the meeting with all of our members, and we want to tailor our later sessions to respond as quickly as we can to those needs. We're going to move the session that we were going to do at the Spring Learning Assembly. We're going to move that online. So if you could mark your calendars for May 2nd and May 30th, starting at 10, we will have webinars for you that will really focus on preparation for those of you who are new, preparation for the upcoming year, and Jim and Tracy will be involved in moving that plan forward. The last thing that we are working on is that we're basically the breakout sessions that we had planned for our club leaders at the Spring Assembly. So these will be sent out through the presidents and president-elects to get to the people who are either currently in those roles or who are moving into those roles. And I'm working with our different club leads. Hopefully by early next week, I'll have some dates that I can put in here, but this is where we are now. So we will be having webinars for club secretaries, treasurers, foundation chairs, and membership chairs. And we are trying to access the videos that were taken at the February 1st session for president-elects. They are very good documents that would be really helpful and support foundation chairs and anybody who's taken on a lead role in public image. We're just working right now with Sean Draper, who's looking at how we can, these are apparently mammoth files, and we're looking at how we can get them in a format that they can be put on our website and then viewed by our members. And so that's all I have. We want to get it out quickly, and if there are any questions, I'd be happy to take questions.
So I see Tim has put a comment up around that they'll be offering the Foundation One following the grants training. You know, as Dawn has indicated, everyone, you're all going to get a copy of this within the next few days. So we need you to make sure that you mark your calendars and work with your presidents and all of your clubs to ensure they're aware. We've modeled this based on another district, and we've heard tremendous successes from the other district on how this has really helped to grow the strength and the leadership of the clubs in the district. So kudos, Donna. Thank you for leading this.
Okay, you're welcome.
Okay, so I'm going to bring back up now my agenda, and I'm going to ask here for, well, I won't bring up the agenda because Jim, how are you there? Are you ready to jump in now for a couple minutes here on just a few tidbits on online opportunities here?
Yeah, so I just wanted to mention a few things with the assistant governors, area governors today. So for 2021, we've restructured the AG areas and added 2 more areas. We have an an AG in the Yukon Territories. We have an AG in Fort McMurray, Matt and Jim that are here today. Northwest Territories is Paul Falvo. In these interesting times, Tracy, Donna, and I have looked and have decided to start doing some district coffee sips, similar to our e-club, just to connect with the club members. Because we're really concerned if the clubs go dark, we'll lose many members. But this situation also gives us an opportunity to possibly spotlight our volunteer members and the service that we can provide to the communities. In the meeting today, one of the things that I thought would be quite useful is we could use a list of Rotary clubs that haven't started meeting online from the AG. So if you could do that and send it to us, because we want to make sure that everybody is transitioned into the new reality, which is still meeting, but meeting online. As far as Zoom, I think the best way that we can do this is we'll be working through the AGs. And if you're not too familiar with Zoom, you can contact with me. You can set up a Zoom meeting, send the link to me, and we can go through it together one-on-one so you're more familiar with the Zoom process. And then you can go forward to your clubs, and if they have questions, they can contact you. Yeah, it's a great time to start on that Assistant Governor module in the Rotary.org Learning Center. Howard Peterson's here. He went through it already, and he's very knowledgeable on that. Right, Howard? But it's a good time to get ready before July the 1st and go through it. I'm going to send out the best practices for holding online meetings to you, and I'm also going to send out the list of the new areas for 2020 to 2021, so you all know where the changes are. What else do I have here? So March 31st, we're having a district coffee sip. It's an informal chance for people that have never used Zoom before. I'll set up a registration. They can click on the link, they can register for it, and we can go through so they get an idea of what Zoom's all about. It's actually Zoom is very easy to use, and it will get them over the fear of the technology. And the last thing is I had a meeting with the Alberta Health Services officials with our District 5360 District Governor-elect Mary Turner, just to say that we're here in Alberta, the Yukon, the Northwest Territories, and if there's any way that we can help them out, Rotary we're here for you. We're have a big group of volunteers, and they weren't aware of how many people were actually in Rotary and Rotaract, the Rotary clubs. And so they were quite impressed and quite happy that we offered our services. So that's about it for me, Tracy.
Wonderful. Jim, thank you. There is one question for you in regards to any thoughts around the district governor visits starting in July, etc.
Well, we don't know what the future is going to hold. Luckily enough, I'm in an e-club, the e-club of Canada 1, which is in our district, and we've met online for the last 7 years. Starting in July, they don't say that you have to meet in person with clubs. You have to meet with a club, or you should meet with a club online or in person. So I'm thinking that starting July the 1st, the club visits will be virtual, and we'll go from there. So for me, that's kind of a natural, but that is looking how it's the way it's going to shape up depending on how this whole COVID situation goes on.
So part of it is being nimble and flexible and working with the current situation and working with what can be best for everyone as we get closer to that.
That's correct.
Wonderful, Jim. Thank you so much for sharing. I really, truly appreciate your guidance, your leadership, and you know, as everyone's heard today, Jim and Donna and I are literally joined at the hip. We don't have 2 or 3 meetings a day. We're missing each other very, very much because we have literally been strongly connected. So as we come to
Tracy, just a question for Jim. It's my understanding that the Zoom registration fee per host is really quite inexpensive. It's $20 per month, and I understand that Rotary gets a discount on that.
That's correct. If you go through Rotary Global Rewards, and I've actually got an email set up, I'll send it off later today. I wanted to connect with Nomza, the chair of Rotary Global Rewards first, but there is an offer for Zoom for 20% off for Rotarians. So I believe that Tracy just got a pro package, which is up to 100 participants.
Yeah.
And I believe she was saying it's about $160 Canadian. So we use the pro package through the district, and it's phenomenal. You have separate meeting rooms, you can record, you can do polling. I mean, it works really, really well. So yeah, if everybody can keep that in mind, especially the AGs when you're talking to the clubs, that through Rotary Global Rewards, there's a 20% discount on Zoom meeting packages. And another thing too is Zoom has always had a free, sort of a free trial. One-on-one meetings are unlimited for time, but if there were 3 or more, they had a limit of 40 minutes. And in some cases, they've relaxed that restriction. So we had a meeting here with Joss's mom and some of our relatives. We had a happy hour, I guess you'd say, virtual happy hour. And we were able to go past 40 minutes. So keep that in mind as well.
Wonderful, thank you. Perfect. So we're going to move us forward here because we're also, as we noted at the very start of the meeting, we're going to have our websites being redesigned on the front page, and we'll have further information on that. And then as well, we'll have the upcoming session with Jim specifically on Zoom as well. So please invite everyone. We all need to communicate that out. So I do want to address a couple other items here before we sign off, and I thank everyone, the sharing, all the discussions we've had today has been tremendous. And I thank you for your time today. Yeah, I know we're all hanging out at home, but you know, you've committed to us today and you've committed to the district. So also just want to talk about Rotary Club Central updates. We do also still need you to go in and put the pulse on the clubs into your updates, please, as well. And, you know, as you're connecting with your presidents, this is a perfect time to just, as you're reaching out, to also then connect and get that information from your perspective on your report of your clubs, and encourage the presidents to update what they have also accomplished on their goals. You know, I don't know what's going to happen with the citation. We haven't gotten any information in regards to that. But I can share with you that our clubs do shine, and this is an opportunity for them to really reflect on the good things that they've accomplished over this past year. And it's a good way for us to also be able to see that information that we may not be hearing about. So please, if you can encourage your club's presidents to do so, that would be tremendous. The other part as we end today is, wow, I have got pages of lists here of things that we've shared, you know, and Tim, you alluded to in the chat earlier, well, that you know, one of the benefits of today is what everyone is receiving and can take home with them for ideas, thoughts. I've got a whole list of ideas for some online meeting speakers, online topics, projects. You know, again, many of our clubs are already supporting Days for Girls. Well, here we go. Let's get busy and do. And let's look at ways we can also hold some virtual happy hours. We are going to get the schedule that you noticed onto the website, plus also Facebook events. I would love to have someone offer to help do that. If someone has some help on the Facebook to create those events, if they can reach to me offline, I can definitely give them what they need to be able to go do that for us in the district Facebook page. As you can imagine right now, my world is full, but I'm still wanting to make sure we support everyone and anyone as best as possible. So if there is anyone that can help me, that's my one ask for everyone today on that. We also need to stay connected as a team. You know, you've got some meeting times there that we've put forward for us to come back and meet together. It's really important we connect. If you feel you need to connect sooner than that, send us a message and we'll quickly coordinate a Zoom meeting or coordinate connecting with you individually or as a team. Whatever you need, we are here for you. And it's really important that we support you to the best capacity that we can. Really reach out, I need you to reach out to your clubs. We have 64 members that are registered for next week's president's meeting. It's going to be a big meeting, but please reach out to make sure your club presidents, president-elects have signed up for that meeting. It's an important meeting to, again, engage them, inspire them, give them the tools so that they can go forward and to know that they've got all of us beside them. As you know, Tim's going to also talk further about the foundation. That's very critical and important information for them to get in their hands. So you're going to be a conduit to help to ensure that they understand and move forward with what their opportunities are. And as we close now, you know, Rotary is important. We know from our district, we've got over 2,000 members, plus all of our young leaders that work so hard to support our communities locally and also abroad. This is our time where we need to stay focused and support them. Rotary is important, is key. The other piece though is that we need Rotary to be strong, as we talked about earlier, is that we need Rotary to be strong going forward. And this is our time to also reach out to our community and let them know Rotary needs them. And it's not about numbers. And all of you know from all of the club visits and all of my conversations with you, I don't care about numbers. I care about impact. So please reach out, help others to engage their community, to know the importance of Rotary, show Rotary as the leader that we are in our communities, and so that when we do need to execute on the ground again, we can engage others to be part of us and to help to make an impact in the lives of our seniors, our young people, our vulnerable, our mental health areas, how we can support Alberta Health Services and all the teams that are working for us. So my closing to you is help us do that. Help us to show the importance of Rotary now and what it will be in the future. And as we do this, I also say to you to please look after you. Please ensure that you reach out to your supports, reach out to myself as you have, some have, many have, and continue to do. Reach out to your families, give them extra virtual hugs, connect with each other and share gratitude among each other, and just really do look after you as we go forward. Because the last we need is for you to get sick, and you don't need that either. You're too important. So in closing, I don't know if there's any other questions I haven't seen. Is there any other questions in the chat that we have? No, I don't see any. So in closing, thank you. Oh, yes, put your mask on first. Thanks, Scott. Thanks for the cheer on that one. Yes. So as we close today, again, thank you. Rotary, you know, Rotary connects the world, and this is the time where we shine and really show that Rotary connects the world. So go forth today and enjoy your day. Spend a little extra time with your family, a little extra time with others, and be really proud of what you're doing. We're proud of you and so appreciate you. Thank you.
Thanks, Tracy.
Thanks, Tracy. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.